Life is an amazing podcast, and it is presented and hosted by myself, Caro, and my sweet dog Sparky. Give it up for him. I hope you're ready. Enjoy. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Go For Your Life. And I am very excited because we are going for our lives with Dirish today. Thank you so much for making the time to be on the podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
So cool. Yeah, because on the 25th of July this year, I looked it up. You were part of the Finding Diversity in Yoga panel for the Brighten Yoga Festival. And I was, listening to that. And I'm very, very inspired by everything that you guys were saying. And I thought it would be so nice for, the listeners as well to, just to learn from you a little bit or learn with you, and also talk a little bit about all the other amazing stuff, because I feel you do a lot of different amazing things in your life. So let's just start with introducing yourself. So I've seen on Instagram you are called Chakrasize Your Life, which I like.
Yeah. I always laugh because people are like, am I saying it right? Is this how it is? This is exactly how it is.
Yeah.
So let me just introduce myself. My name is Dirish. I'm from London, born and bred. My family are from Mauritius, and they moved here in the late 70s. And I pretty much lived here my whole life. And I've been teaching for 10 years now. I can't believe how time flies, but it does. And over the years of my teaching, learning, interests, it's kind of molded together all the things that I've enjoyed learning, which is yoga, which is dance, movement, meditation, the chakras, astrology, energy clearing, Chinese medicine, alchemy, Ayurveda, like the whole spectrum of so much of the let's say personal development healing systems that I just find a lot of inspiration and insight from, because I feel like for me it's very much about integration, and that's where you get to learn what you're truly interested in when you bring everything together, and then you begin to not just teach from that place, not just practice from that place, but to live from that place, which makes life very wholesome. Very wholesome, and also gives you variety. And for me, I know that I love variety. It gives me lots of choices, and I love that. And I can experiment with things and see what works on one day and the other. So when actually the name Chakrasize Your Life came to me when I was asked to do Mind, Body, Spirit show, and they asked me for a workshop, and I'm like, that was the name that came, and it was just so exciting and juicy. Like, well, people were like, what does that mean? It sounds interesting. And like we all know what the chakras are, and then to size them means to exercise them. So exercise them, because it's like how we train ourselves, how we maintain ourselves, and how we keep ourselves consistent in this so-called life we live in. So it's been a really interesting ride, and actually I'm writing a book on the title of that. So
cool.
Insight and interest into
Nice.
How I came up with it, and also I break down everything with that in terms of practice, in terms of lifestyle, and everything, education, and all sorts. So super
nice. And it's such a great word. Like, it's like, what were you doing today? I was chakrasizing. What did you do? You probably were just exercising. I was chakrasizing. Okay.
Okay. It's funny because I have a group of people that I'm working with, and they were like, yes, we chakrasize. Yes, we chakrasize on them haters. I'm like, oh my God, it's an actual thing now. It's so funny.
It's so cool. Yeah, it will probably be a word in the, we pick up in a grammar anytime soon, like Googling. It will be chakrasizing.
Yeah.
Chakrasizing.
The more you kind of include it in your vocabulary, it's like, what does that mean? Pass it on. Like, It gives you a little electric charge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it. Absolutely. I'll come back to your book in a minute. But what
Yeah.
I wanted to share with the listener straight away was like what grabbed me the most. I mean, this talk in general was an amazing panel. Like with such an, you were all such a diversity of people taking part of this panel, and teaching us some really important stuff. Because I definitely feel I'm actually starting a group with 3 other teachers. And that we're yoga teachers for social and racial justice, because I really feel that yoga is way too wide, in my opinion. So I'm trying to be an ally, and I'm trying to really, for me, it was really inspirational to be part of this, to listen to this panel. And you said something so that really resonated with me, because you said, like, whatever community you're in is where your work starts. And that really grabbed me, because I was like, yeah. And then also you were talking a lot about taking yoga out of the yoga spaces, but also into community spaces. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that with you, because I think you do a lot of work in the community like that, right?
Yeah. I've been doing that for a long time now. And I just, I started this group. This was during the first Black Lives Matter, when the first Black Lives Matter became quite global. A few yoga teachers, we came together. We created this foundation called the Future Seeds Foundation, and it was basically built on bringing tools to young people, how to empower young people, how to give them accessibility, educate them, not just educate them from what they learn at school, but education from what they don't learn at school. How to give back to themselves, how to train themselves and help themselves on the mental health level, meditation tools and techniques, breathing techniques, yoga movement, sound therapy, writing, all of these different aspects that we have a lot of accessibility for in the alternative kind of holistic and new age world, but that's not shared and not integrated in schools. So in order for young people, young children, to basically live in a world where we can be the change we want to see in the world, it needs to begin with the children. That's why we set up this foundation called the Future Seeds Foundation. And then through that, we put on different events, forums on different topics. So we've had topics and talks on birth control in marginalized communities. We've had topics on toxic masculinity. We've looked at people have come together with their talents. So we've had like a musical kind of poetry day, because as well as education, we're also there for upliftment as well. So the thing that I bring to it is educate to elevate, and that can progress, and how we can light each other up during very challenging times. Is like whenever there are very challenging times, we need to come together and we need to stick together, because without each other we can't move forwards. And for me, it's very much about collaboration. People want to go out there doing things alone. That's fine and everything, but you have to remember that we're always serving each other. Whatever kind of business you're always serving somebody.
Yeah.
Always serving somebody. So why not do this collectively?
Yeah,
and much more powerful.
And the uplifting others is so important, right? Like, I love what you said, educate to elevate, because I think too many people educate to just put people down, whereas, like, I'm going to show you a lesson. You need to listen to me, but educate to elevate, it's a whole different thing. It's beautiful.
And for me, that is an old structure of I'm telling you what to do, because nobody knows everything. We all come from different experiences and backgrounds, and we all learn from each other. So for me, I don't necessarily call myself a teacher. I call myself a facilitator now, because a facilitator is somebody who is constantly growing. It's not the expert or the teacher. It's someone who is constantly building themselves and learning from each other. So whenever I lead, workshops and things, I want to hear what people have understood. I want to hear from what they brought from their background. Because I can give you a whole summary, I can give you an essence of something, but there is so much more. And the more you know, the less you know.
Yeah.
My experience I've come to learn, and that's very humbling.
And you were also saying something like, that the heart of yoga lies in these community spaces, right? And I feel, because I definitely feel that, I think even for myself, I find some yoga studios really, there's a big boundary for me to even go in there. And I'm just me with my purple hair and my tattoos, so I can also imagine that if you are a person of color or any trans people, gay people, I think there are groups of communities that find it really difficult to even, step foot into a place. So
I tell you something. When I went to America and I did my teacher training, and I was in LA, I was the only person of color. I was probably the only man sometimes.
Yeah.
And I began to numb myself just to think this is normal now, and that's whatever. I'm just here to do what I do. And when I began to be in more other circles that had more diversity, it's just like, oh my God, finally, I can see people that look like me. Because I don't see people who look like me when I go to, regular yoga studios where you just see the same kind of archetype or same kind of look. And when a teacher's giving instructions, it's never very inclusive. It's very for the fixed, type of woman or girl, and it's just not inclusive. And you don't feel like sometimes, they don't look at you. You don't feel seen.
Yeah.
That's my experience,
Yeah.
But there have been other occasions. I mean, that's just an example. I've had some other great experiences, but generally, this is the kind of setup is happening. But I do know that it's changing.
Yeah.
I do know that it's coming to a change, and yoga studios are now been challenged on this,
and they should.
and they're now taking action on how they have to and want to integrate. But for me, it really comes down to the intention of why they're doing it. You can do the whole diverse campaign you want to do. if that's not what's going on in the background, and you're something else,
it's also not sincere.
People are going to feel that, and
absolutely, yeah, it needs to be sincere as well. That's also what I feel like. I've seen a lot of yoga spaces going, Black Lives Matter, and then they do the whole thing, and I'm like, do you even know what it means, what you're just posting out there, So, but a question I have for you, what you just said, which is really interesting, like, do you feel like your own experience of being the only person of color, for example, in your teacher training, do you use these experiences when you're facilitating, when you're teaching? Like, do you use that for the good in a way?
Always. For me, I take the best and I leave the rest. Because there's no point in taking everything if part of it doesn't serve you. I mean, luckily on the teacher trainings that I took, it wasn't massively multicultural or diverse, but there was some of us there,
Yeah.
It was okay. And because also the teacher training I took, the teachers were so full of love and light. It was just, you felt inclusive,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
there are other places I've been to where I didn't feel like I belonged there.
And so there is definitely also, and I feel that there is definitely a need for community classes to go into the community and not wait for the community to come to you, as a studio or something. Yeah.
For me, when I first started teaching, I said yes to all the opportunities, actually. I was teaching one of my friends, his wife was coming to my classes, and she asked me, could I come and teach at her workplace? I'm like, absolutely. And it turned out that the workplace was a recruitment agency for recruiting people of color to get them into places like Google and lawyers and all these kind of things. So it was cool. I was just seeing people just like me. It was perfect. Then I got asked to teach in a hospital where I was teaching just the staff. That was a beautiful community class. I was also doing community classes in, I've done a lot, actually. I'm just trying to think over the past decade, but it's been a lot, and it's been fulfilling, actually. Doing them at events which kind of bring not your everyday yoga people together is where I enjoy the most, because they don't get that privilege of going to a yoga studio to carry a yoga mat and to carry all these expensive leggings. They don't have that luxury. So when I do it for them, they have a sincere and truthful appreciation for what you have done for them. So those always fill my heart the most.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And what do you